Engaged lessons for the 21st century. Good day, class. You all know me as Superman. And what we're going to do today is present an instructional video for you on 3D shapes. Now, your teacher should have passed out to each one of you a worksheet. And on that worksheet, you should see a picture of a cube, a triangular prism, a triangular pyramid, a square pyramid, a sphere, a cylinder, and a rectangular prism. And each one of those we've allowed a space for you to write down the vertex, the edges, and the faces for each 3D shape. So, if you pay close attention, you'll notice we're going to work with you very closely on learning about 3D shapes. Also on your worksheet, you'll notice there are 2 QR codes. The first QR code, in case you want to, if you click on that with your scanner, it will take you directly to this video. And the second QR code will provide you with the answers to each one of the 3D shapes. Okay, so let's get ready to begin. And please remember, at any time, if you wish, pause the video, rewind, and play it back again for something you do not understand. Thank you. Okay, boys and girls, what we're going to talk about today, and the first one is a 3D cube. You'll notice that we have a vertex, which is equal to a corner, an edge, which is a straight line, and a face, which is a surface. You'll notice that I provided for you a solid cube here and a three-dimensional cube on this side that's opened up. Now below we have a cube. It's equal to 8 vertex, 12 edges, and 6 faces. Well, let's see what we're talking about. I'm going to draw a red line to illustrate the 8 corners. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Sometimes it's easier to see on the solid. Let's look at the edges, and we should have 12 of those in blue. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Those are pretty hard to see, huh? Let's look at the last one, and that would be faces. Now, it might be easier to see that over here. We have 1, 2, 3, and at the bottom we have 4, and on the back side we have 5, and then over here we're going to have 6. So you can see by using the solid, it makes things sometimes a little bit easier. Let me make a better 6 than that. Okay, so that is our first 3D dimension, and hopefully that made sense. Okay, this time we are going to look at a triangular prism, and we need to decide a couple of things. One, we need to look at and determine what the vertex is. As you can see, I give you the number 6. Edges are 9 and faces is 5. Okay, let's look and see how many corners there are. And again, I provided for you a solid triangular prism and one that is open. Let's see how many corners there are. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the back is 5, and then we have 6. So there are 6 corners. Next, let's determine how many edges there are. And it says here there's 9. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we have 9. And the last thing we want to look at are these surfaces or faces. And we have 5 of those. So we have 1, 2, below is 3, 4, and on the far side would be 5. Hopefully all of that makes sense. You only need to remember what a vertex is. It's a corner. An edge is the straight line. And the face is the surface. Okay, thank you for working with us on triangular prisms. And hopefully this all made sense. The next 3D shape is a triangular pyramid. If you look carefully again, here we have the solid, and over here we have it in a basic open 3D. Now we said we have 4 vertex or corners. Let's count them and see if that is correct. We have corners, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now how many edges do we have? And it says here we have 6 edges. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this back one is 6. And the last thing we're looking at are faces or surfaces. And let's look over, well, we can do it over here. We have 1, 2, and in the back is 3, and at the very bottom is 4. So that is a triangular pyramid. Hopefully that made some sense to you. Easy to understand. And let's go on to the very next lesson. Okay, we are looking at a new item, a new 3-dimension. It is a square pyramid. Let's first of all look and see what the 5 vertex are. And we can use either one on the left or the right. Let's try the right one and look for 5 corners. So here's 1, 2, 3, over here is 4, and at the top is 5. The next one is going to be the 8 edges. Let's see if we can find those. Well, for simplicity's sake, we know since it's a square, we have 4 at the bottom, right? And 4, 5, 6, and on the back side is 7, and on the other side would be 8. And the last thing we want to find is the 5 surfaces. Okay? We can do that very easily. We have 1, 2, and on the back side 3, and over here would be 4, and the bottom one would be 5. Hopefully that really made sense. Sometimes it's hard to visualize all that, but I'm hoping you were able to do it. Okay, let's go on now to the next shape, 3D shape. The next 3D object we're going to look at is a sphere. As you can see on the left, it's kind of 3-dimensional for you, and here we have it on the right. Kind of hard to determine what is going on. However, most of us are familiar with it. Let's look first of all at the vertex. Are there any corners? No. So your answer would be 0. Edge. Is there a straight line? No. So there aren't any edges. And last of all, there is a surface. And the answer is yes, there's one surface. So we have 0 vertex, 0 edges, and 1 face or surface. Hopefully that makes sense. That is a sphere. Okay, let's go on to the very next 3D object. Okay, our next object is a cylinder. Let's look first of all. Are there any corners? And the answer is no. We have 0. There aren't any corners. Number 2, we want to know, are there any edges? And if you look carefully, we have 2 edges. We have one here, and we have one up here at the top. And the last thing we want to look at, are there any surfaces? And the answer is yes. Here's one, and there's one at the bottom, and there's one at the top. It's illustrated best by this example on the right. So that covers the cylinder, and we'll go on to the very next lesson. Okay, the last shape we're going to cover is a rectangular prism. And again, like before, you'll notice we have a shape on the left and one on the right. Now, let's look and see what type of prism we have. Well, first of all, our vertex is 8, and we know that's the corner. So we know we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on the back side 7 and 8. So we have 8 corners for our vertex. Now, the edges, let's see how many edges we have, and we should have 12. Well, you can count them either way. Let's see if we can figure out on this side. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, and the other side is exactly the same, so that's 8. Then we have 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we have 12 edges. Now, how many faces or surfaces do we have? Well, we have 1, 2, and the other side would be 3, and the bottom would be 4, and this one would be 5, and if you can picture it, on this side would be 6. Or you find it easier to find them on this illustration. So we have 6 of them. So hopefully that helps you out with 3D shapes. And that concludes our instructional video. And what you should have in front of you is a worksheet that you could have done coming right along. Make sure you have your name on it, and please submit it to your teacher. And thank you.